Man of means by no means, king of the road. Anyway, sorry about that. Now I was just finishing up as I hit play. Now I wish it had been a Bob Dylan song playing because I do have this Heaven's Door bourbon. Heaven's Door bourbon. Yeah, it's a collaboration. I left my darn tablet over there that had the info on it. I was going to read for you. Bottom line, though, their website refers to it as an 8-year-old, a minimum of 8-year-old bourbon. They describe flavors of vanilla and baked bread over toasted oat. Now, I'll be honest with you. I had some of this last night, and the flavor I got is I was also picking up some very dark raisin and some baking spice, along with all that vanilla they're talking about. So when you add that combination, where they say baked bread layered over toasted oat, I was feeling a Irish soda bread. My Irish American background, as it were. Anyway, I set that down. So I've got here is I did a video for the bourbon. I did a video for the Oskar Blues barrel aged 1050 at 12.5%. So I thought as I'm still working through this can, I would finish up this bourbon, kind of pair these two together. And in all honesty, I did this last night, and it was freaking brilliant. One thing I do like about this Oskar Blues, though, I got to be honest with you. Oh man, that's gorgeous. One thing I really liked about the Oskar Blues is how intense the bourbon is on the nose and on the flavor. The bourbon just permeates everything. Now, for some, that might be a negative. For me, it's a positive, especially when something says barrel aged. I really want to feel it. And this is one of the most intense bourbon barrel offerings that I've had this season. Not long ago, I had the Brooklyn Black Ops, which I thought was good. It's $22 for a 750. The BCBS I thought was better than in past years, but it's $13 for 16 ounces and change. I didn't buy the KBS this year because I just felt it was way overpriced, and I just didn't want to deal with it because it ran 20 to 25 in my neck of the woods. I did end up picking up the CBS for about 20 for the 4-pack. This barrel aged 1050, four 12-ounce cans, 48 ounces was $14.99. Now, although I understand that's not cheap, in the world of barrel aged craft beers, that is damn reasonable. Especially once I opened it and really got the nose, man. The nose is just incredible. Again, a very intense bourbon on the nose. A lot of big barrel notes, a lot of vanilla, a lot of spice, toffee as well. Where in the Imperial Stout, you're feeling a lot of chocolate notes. I also felt like I was getting some raisin as well. But yeah, the chocolate notes are pretty intense. A very dark chocolate. I'm going to say 70% dark. I'll set that down and pick up my bourbon here. There's that warm vanilla sugar feeling on the nose. Again, a lot of toasted oak. A lot of bourbon, I get intense cinnamon. It's not unusual to get a lot of spice, even some variations of that. But here I feel more of a baking spice rather than just cinnamon. And well, baking spice, we're talking cinnamon, nutmeg, ginger, clove, who knows what else. But what I mean by that is although I feel cinnamon here, it doesn't overtake those other notes. Allspice is what I meant to mention earlier too. Feels like a more balanced spice note on the nose and on the palate as well. I personally don't know if Bob's a bourbon drinker or if he just wanted to put his name on something. I don't know. I was always a Bob Dylan fan as a kid, and my friends, my heavy metal head friends at the time, thought I was nuts. He can't sing, Tom. Well, of course he can't sing. That's not why you listen to Bob Dylan. It's the sound. It's not the singing ability. It's the sound that made Bob Dylan special. That and the incredible lyrics. At one time, as a younger person, wanted to be a lyricist, and my early works were pretty much based off Bob Dylan and Justin Hayward. I was a very serious kid, man. I got over that apparently, but was a very intense, shy teenager, believe it or not. So the flavors here, again, yeah, I agree with everything they say. Uh, Vanilla baked bread layered over a bed of toasted oak is how they describe it. I'm just going to take it a step further. Rather than just say baked bread, it feels more like an Irish soda bread. You know, you feel that spice, the raisins you can find in a soda bread. With that intense baking spice running all the way through. What I think they're getting at, though, is that how that toasted oak runs all the way through. It starts out low and starts to grow. I recently watched The Grinch, man. No, it starts out soft and then comes to a crescendo right at the finish, man. It just gets bigger and bigger, and then you got that crescendo at the finish with those large toasted oak notes and the combination of that baking spice just cleaning up any sweetness. It just started off a little sweet. Again, a lot of warm vanilla sugar-like notes. I feel some raisin, and you might feel some other. They don't mention any fruit notes, and quite frankly, that could just be how I'm interpreting certain things. But that's kind of what I'm feeling. They mentioned bread, but I really felt that's the first thing I noticed. Man, Irish soda bread. It was even before I read their description of baked bread. Man, I'm feeling Irish soda bread, and I read their description. I said, damn. I'm in the ballpark. I just picked up an extra flavor. That's all. Anyway. And it pairs perfect with this beer. I opened this beer last night and I poured about, I was using a snifter, so I poured about 4 ounces in the snifter and I drank that, and I did a little write up on my Beer Whisperer page on Facebook. And then I set it down, and then I tried the bourbon and did a little write up on my Whiskey Whisperer Facebook page on Facebook. But then I sat there and finished the beer with the bourbon, and honestly, it took me about to finish this 12-ounce can and the 2-ounce pour of bourbon. It took me about an hour and 15 minutes. Now you can drink it faster if you like. I'm not telling you how fast or how slow you should drink, but for me, it's not about pounding it down. It's not about drinking fast. It's not about getting drunk. It's about the destination. Take your time and enjoy products like this. A product as good as this 1050, a product as good as that Heaven Store. Enjoy it however you choose to enjoy it. But for me, there's no need to really do shots, drink it fast. I want to relax and enjoy it. For me, I'll do this when I pour myself a couple ounces neat. I do a pour, I sit it down, pick it up every now and again, and as we're watching television, check the nose. And sometimes it's 5, 10, even 15 minutes in before I even take the first drink, because I'm not in a hurry. I'm enjoying the product, and I've noticed that every time I set it down, pick it back up, I pick up something new on the nose. And then I take a drink, and I set it down, and I go through the whole ritual again, and I notice the next time I take a drink, I pick up something new. I think when you drink spirits of this quality, when you drink beer of this quality, it's not about knocking them back quick. It's not even about being a techer and drinking as many as you can. It's enjoying the ones that you have available to you. That's how it is for me. That's what craft beer means to me, man. That's what craft whiskey means to me. It's about enjoying it's about enjoying the trip. It's not about the destination. It's enjoying the journey along the way. So there you go. Got a little philosophical on you. See, thinking about Bob Dylan, Justin Hayward, it made me a little philosophical. Anyway, got a little serious. Made myself a little misty. Anyway, I digress. I tried to go outside and do a video, man. Well, I did do a video outside in my pub in my garage area. It looks like a nice blue sky out there, but it's cold, man. So I had to come inside, put the fire on, and warm up a little bit. But it gives me the illusion of warmth. Anyway, wow. I'm losing my marbles, man. Heaven's Door, again, Tennessee bourbon. It's in collaboration with Bob Dylan. I don't know if he's part of the business or not. If they're paying to use his name, hell, I don't know. Quite frankly, I don't care. It is you know, you got to be careful with products like this. So sometimes it is about clever marketing. Several years ago, I bought some J.R. Ewing bourbon, which was, you know, this close to crap. It was, it was a $15 bourbon in a $30 bottle. But sometimes you got to pick up the product. So I was leery until I started reading some. I don't typically like to read reviews on stuff, but my wife happened to pick me up a Whiskey Advocate magazine, and they had a nice write up on this. And when I happened to see it, I said, I'm gonna pick it up, especially when I saw it on sale. Mm. Yeah, there's one thing I do find interesting about this bourbon, though. In many bourbons, most anyway, you feel these very intense cinnamon notes, and you might get some other spices as well, but usually cinnamon is way out front. And here I do feel some cinnamon, but that's the reason I describe it as baking spice is because I don't feel just cinnamon. I feel all those spice flavors kind of you know. Melded together. Not, you know, not one spice flavor outweighs the other, which is why I say baking spice. Because you know, I feel a hint of, I feel some cinnamon, some allspice, some ginger, some nutmeg, some clove. All of that sort of encompasses the baking spice. So there you go. Ah, damn, that's tasty. Anyway, let me pick up this beer one more time. Mm. Trailers for sale around, rooms to lend 50 cents. I'm a man of means by no means. King of the road. Anyway, a little Roger Miller. I wish I ever played a Bob Dylan song, but now that song is all that's stuck in my head. Knock, knock, knocking on heaven's door. Anyway, you know, a lot of folks of my generation, I grew up in that hairband era in California back in the 80s. And folks loved that Guns N' Roses version of this tune, and I hated it. I hated the way Axl Rose sang that song and drug it out. So this whiny, nasally tone, I hated his version. I thought it sucked. And a little bit before that, you know, more of a hair band sound, I guess. A group called Heaven did it. I thought they did. I loved their version personally, but as soon as Guns N' Roses version came out, radios wouldn't play that Heaven version anymore. But Heaven, if you're out there, I like your cover better. But nothing is better than the original Bob Dylan. So there you go. Oh, take this badge from me. Oh, please, Tom, don't sing for us no more. We can't take it. We can't take it, Tom. Anyway, I digress. I am Tom the Whiskey Whisperer, whiskey evangelist, prolific whiskey drinker, purveyor wisdom, and this fire is nice. It just warmed me all up. My wife thinks I'm crazy. I told her we should put a little space heater by the fake fire on the TV, and then we have the illusion of it's actually a fireplace. See, but nobody listens to me. Nobody pays attention. I got great ideas, man. I am Tom the Whiskey Whisperer, whiskey evangelist, prolific whiskey drinker, purveyor wisdom, and I'm also Tom the Beer Whisperer, beer evangelist, prolific beer drinker, purveyor wisdom, and cheese biscuits. That's good. All around good guy. Damn, that's tasty.